This is a free sample of the book Don't Give a Shit and Succeed by Cairo Copeland. The first half of this book is posted right here on YouTube, free for everyone to listen to. If you like this content and want to hear or read the rest, or want to listen to it free of ads, visit reinventideal.com/stoic. The book is available on Kindle, paperback, and Audible at reinventideal.com/. Chapter 1. The number one concern that holds men back in life. Many males will waste countless resources to find the right woman. There is no right one. There are many good ones and bad ones. There are even average ones. But there is no right one or perfect one. Continuing to chase after this figment of your idealization will have you spend the rest of your life deeply disappointed and easily exploited. If there is one thing that males care far too much about, it is this: finding the perfect woman to marry. While they strive for liberty in all aspects of their lives, like social freedom, financial independence, and work-life balance, they ironically seem to be so willing to give up their sexual freedom to monogamy with a woman. So willing that they actively search for this and make their efforts well advertised. For good reason they do this. Society makes you feel like you're not in good standing unless you are paired with a woman. Notice how we don't trust men with children in today's world? If you see a random guy by himself talk to a child, you suspect something bad. But if he has a woman with him, then it's perfectly alright. At all the adult resorts and clubs I've been to, women and couples get in at reasonable prices, but single guys pay 3 times as much for entry. Further, an unquenchable thirst for sex demands you do this as well. Your need for a woman comes from both the external world and your internal self. But is it worth all the trouble, energy, effort, and expense that most males are willing to put into it? As most guys that are married or in long-term relationships will tell you, a woman is the one investment that never gives back to you what you put in. It fails across the board in a cost-benefit analysis. Many guys are caring way too much about getting something that doesn't really make them happy, all because society commands them to. And while their sex drive commands it of them as well, even as they enjoy the sex they have, they come to realize that sex is only great in the moment and does little for long-lasting satisfaction. One of the first rules I bring up to my clients when coaching is, don't care so much about getting the woman. Care about getting better with women in general. This is to prevent them from being outcome-driven in their interactions and develop the dreaded disease of one-itis. Still, males will infect themselves with one-itis so easily and even willfully. They want to find their one woman. But what will they do with that one woman? Marry her? My question to you then is, why is it important for you to get married? It's nothing but a bad deal for men. I would tell you not to seek nor promise monogamy to a woman at all. Humans are just not made for monogamy. Ever wonder why you find the idea of sleeping with your mother or your sister disgusting? Even if your sister were Kate Upton, you'd be grossed out at the idea of tongue-kissing her. Know why? During the caveman days, nature did not want you sleeping with your mother or sister. That was bad for the gene pool and would produce terribly flawed offspring. So it had to compel you to want sex with other women. That's why you get bored sexually with a woman you are monogamous with. This is often why sex declines in marriages as time goes on, and it's definitely why cohabitating couples often end up breaking up. The course of nature is to discourage monogamous behavior, so why try to fight it? Not only that, but when you are around a woman too much, your testosterone declines. If you get married to, cohabitate with, or just see the same woman over and over again, you will lose testosterone. After the birth of your child, it could decline as much as 30%. This is nature's way of making sure you are not running around looking for women to bang. It's how it keeps you in the house and doing your job as a dutiful husband. So what's wrong with that? Lower testosterone leads to a low sex drive, which is part of why sex declines as time goes on in the marriage or monogamous relationship. It can also lead to loss of muscle mass, strength, bone density, and red blood cell production. All these things can lead to deteriorated health, and some even and early death. All things being equal, without the decline in testosterone, you would have naturally lived an otherwise long and healthy life. But did you know that talking to a new, beautiful woman increases your testosterone? So does talking to a new, younger woman. It's clear that this is what nature wants you to do, since you become healthier as you do it. Why go against the course of nature? The Taoist philosophy is to not resist the current of the river, but to go along with it. For more pain is caused by trying to resist the course of nature than by accepting it. Even when the course of nature is difficult and unpleasant. In fact, the experiences that will benefit you the most are the ones that are the most unpleasant to experience. It was never in your nature to be monogamous, yet you feel so strongly compelled that you must be, as the social imperatives command you to be. And that's what pushes you to give so much of a shit about finding the right one when there is no right one. You care so much about winning a life or death game that you shouldn't even play because it's so dangerous you can lose your life even if you win it. Humans have tried to outsmart nature by establishing and enforcing the idea and institution of marriage and monogamy, but their attempts have failed across the board, as evidenced by the 50% failure rate of marriages. Let's also not forget that the other 50% that do not get divorced are often equally miserable, being stuck with someone they are no longer attracted to nor enjoy spending time with. They try to condition males against their nature by force-feeding them various myths, like that they have a soulmate out there waiting for them to find them. And this soulmate is their perfect lover in every way. Once they get married to them, everything will be perfect and go smoothly. No one knows nor explains how. They say it just does. They feed males the myth that if they don't marry, they'll become a lonely, miserable old creep that no one wants anything to do with. And they'll sit on the bench at the park watching other guys out with their families experiencing happiness they could never know. Worst of all, they'll die alone in pain, even though that's really how everyone goes anyway. They try to get males to buy into this social imperative as early as possible, particularly when the young man is involved in organized religion, where marriage is encouraged at early ages. This is because the younger a guy is, the less likely he is to realize that his sex appeal only rises with age. If he's married before he can discover the magnitude of his options, he's more likely to sign up for and stay within the confines of a mediocre marriage. The pursuit of the perfect one is wasted energy because even if you find her, you'll get far more than you asked for. The risk is you get locked up with a woman you can't be certain is what you hope she'll be, but you'll be expected to carry all the responsibilities and liabilities of a pair bond while having no authority over that bond thanks to the fempowerment mandate. In today's marriages, the husband has 100% responsibility, but 0% authority. If you don't like it when she denies you sex, you're just an immature pervert that needs to grow up. But if she doesn't like it when you deny her free attention and supplication, you're not a real man living up to your obligations. The trade is never fair. Men, being more rational and deductive problem solvers, are likely to realize this imbalance. That is why the social imperatives like, "You must find your soulmate," and "You don't want to die a lonely old man," were created. They are an attempt to override your reason with emotion. These imperatives lead a guy down the dreaded path of one-itis, which is a threat to you as a man, physically, emotionally, financially, and socially. One-itis will put you at the mercy of hypergamy. When the thoughts arise in your mind like, "I can't live without her," you are now at her mercy. But even if you haven't yet found a woman to feel that way about, you can still fall victim to this. When you hear a guy say he's holding out for a quality woman, often he's only replaced his one-itis from a real-life woman to one he fantasizes about in his head. Much like a long-distance relationship, where most of the time is spent idealizing about what the relationship could and should be like. He rarely gets to experience the happiness that relationships with women can provide, only daydream about it. The one-itis he has is no different from having an imaginary friend. This isn't to advocate the MGTOW path. This isn't to say suppress your sex drive. Instead, when everything within you is screaming that you must have a woman, ask yourself why. Ask what long-term happiness it will really bring you. If you're over 30 and have been in relationships before, you know the limitations on happiness provision in relationships. Finally, if you are under 30, there is no good reason for you to seek or be in a serious long-term relationship right now. If you are in one, really examine how much benefit it's providing for you as honestly as you can. More than likely, it's holding you back from accomplishing so much. If you are seeking one, you are best served to stop right now because this will be the hardest time in your life to present yourself as appealing to a woman. Males just take longer to mature and make something of themselves. Most women will not consider nor take you seriously when you're young. Age 18 to 30, you find yourself taking so many hits and losses when it comes to dating. But once you turn 30, something truly magical happens. Suddenly, women that used to ignore you now start to notice you, even chase you. From age 30 to 40 is when males reach their peak sex appeal to women. This is when they have more dating options than they've ever had before. This is when women will even accept being one of your many girlfriends. They'd rather share a quality man than have a dedicated simp. They'll do everything short of killing each other to be with you. So don't piss away your energy and efforts by being on the prowl for them earlier. Or for most guys, the desperate soulmate search. Thank you for listening to this free sample of the book, Don't Give a Shit and Succeed by Cairo Copeland. If you enjoyed it and want to hear or read the rest, or want to listen to it free of ads, visit reinventideal.com/stoic. The book is available on Kindle, paperback, and Audible at reinventideal.com/stoic.